I can almost guarantee there are going to be no Carlton fans watching this, and I do not blame you in the slightest. For the rest of us, for the neutrals, there is one question that's probably rhetorical, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How good is footy? And then we need to ask one more question while we're at it. What the fuck just happened? Because it's been a good day, and it was an excellent evening, let me tell you. But Big Dazzling over here just turned 27 and celebrated accordingly. Had a very nice dinner with not only my partner, but her brother's beautiful family as well. Not missed, but watched sparingly as best you can in a pub area, I suppose. The first quarter and a bit, it was 28-7. Got back to ours, it was 41 points, I think, at that point in time, and I was thinking to myself, is this even worth reacting to? Is it going to be a pretty boring, just Carlton did what they had to do? I was going to defend the Blues because it was going to be a, what do you expect them to do? Like, they beat Richmond, they needed to. Knocking a team for not winning by enough is something I've never understood in world sport. And then at halftime, 25 points, Richmond kicked 3 in a row, and we kind of all just sat there and kind of went, well, this is what happens. You know, they kind of got a scare knocked into them. Halftime, regroup, and they'll bounce back. And the bounce back didn't come. Carlton as a collective did what Jarrett Allen admitted to doing in the playoffs in the NBA a couple of years ago, where he said that the lights got too bright. They were so scared of being the first team to lose to Richmond, and probably to cough up a massive lead, that they crumbled. And the mental fragility of this Carlton side, I'm going to say it now, put a line through them. They ain't winning the flag. You cannot, and I'm not, losing to Richmond's not the problem. Like, it actually isn't the problem. You can say it's the problem, you could say it's the majority of the problem, 100%, whatever percentage you want to put down to it, is actually not the problem. Who they lost to wasn't as concerning as the fact that they were once again challenged from an authoritative position and crumbled like gluten-free cornbread. And as someone that lives with a toddler who is eating gluten-free, that shit is nasty. And so was this. But I'm not going to break the promise to myself that we would talk more about the losers than the winners. Let's go to the Tigers. And the first person that I want to give credit to, because if there was one thing that bothered me about the Fox Footy commentary last night, is that Tom De Koning, because of the contractual status, was the ruckman they were talking about. Nankervis was better than him. Like, you understand that, right? You fundamentally watched a game for 120 minutes. Both of them were A grade. Well, like A+. They really were. But one of them is sexy to talk about and one of them is not. The Nank was unbelievable. And what was so cool is that at that 41-point deficit where Carlton kicked effectively 7 goals, 8, because they kicked, 1 goal 7 or something ridiculous, 1 goal 6 in the second half, which is low-key hilarious. Like, no Kerno, no small forwards. But again, we'll get back to the Blues in a second. But Nankervis stood up. Vlosten was fantastic. Short did enough. If you look at Jaden Short's game as an actual on-field game rather than a Supercoach or a fantasy output, which I can struggle to considering he's my D2, but enough about the way that I play fantasy badly. He was really good. Their back six looked really solid, actually, for the entire game. When there was an ounce of pressure through the midfield or with Carlton's ball movement, Richmond's backline was fine. Yeah, they lost Liam Baker from there. Yes, they lost Daniel Rioli from there in terms of rebounding. Tom Brown, I think he only had the 10 disposals, but looked reasonably solid back there. But their back six was fine. I am 100% vindicated, overreacting, 100% vindicated on mocking Luke Traynor at pick 2 for great majority of last year because he was outstanding. Not just with the ball, but without the ball. His defensive pressure acts in that last quarter were unreal. The smother on Cripps was top-notch. The one-on-one with Brody Kemp, I think it was on the wing, half forward, was expertly done. What a star he looks like. Harry Armstrong, yes, the collision with Ollie Hollands was awesome, and Hollands did a great job there as well. But the way that he was able to impact the contest without doing a whole lot. Got the handball over to Jacob Bauer as well for being the only one that properly stood up in that contest. A massive tick to him. And don't worry, we will talk about the number 1 draft pick in just a second. I want to give Timmy Taranto some credit. Yes, he only went at 50% disposal efficiency, but when you are looking at a midfield lineup of Cripps, of Hewitt, of Chera, of Walsh, which I still think is the most overrated midfield in the competition, and I thought that before going into this game, but alas, here we are. He did everything that he needed to do. Again, we need to stop looking at the lens of a fantasy or a Supercoach point of view, because that's not what we're trying to do here. But he was very good. Jack Ross has never played a better game than this. Just at all. Seth Campbell, his last quarter was outstanding. The celebration was awesome. Michael Frederick did something earlier, maybe not last year, the year before. I do find it really interesting how everyone loved him doing that, but Jack Ginnivan and Connor McDonald celebrate when the Hawks got on a roll, and oh my God, the arrogance. Or maybe personality in sport is just a good thing and should be celebrated. Wild fucking concept, I know, but if you stay with me, I'm pretty sure you'll agree. Oh, but what if he gets injured? Yeah, but he didn't, right? If you celebrate what didn't happen rather than what did, you'll be really miserable. And there's only one group of people that should be miserable by now, and we all know who they are. Lastly, on the Tigers, outside of their awesome forward structure, the way that Tom Lynch got into the game, Steely Green had some nice moments late in this one as well. The last thing that I want to say is the credit to Adam Uze, because when you're in a rebuilding side, effort is everything. And no one encapsulated that more than Sam Lawler, the man who was judged the number one pick in the country pretty much from 3 months out, maybe even further in some people's eyes, but the consensus across the board is that he was going to get taken first. 2 goals, 18 disposals, everything he did just looked awesome. Pumped to see what he can do. I kind of want to slow the brakes on that, give him the number 4 now. He's Dusty Jr. No, just let him be the best version of Sam Lawler possible and let him explode. Right. Winners out of the way, Carlton, outside of what I've spoken about. Now, watching this game epitomised something that my dad, Daz Sr., shout out to the great man, always loves to tell me. Blokes get delisted for a reason. Quite happy to say. Nick Haynes, Frankie Evans. See ya. Don't need you. Ashton Moyer just needs to play. Who replaces Nick Haynes? I don't give a shit. But it can't happen. Ollie Hollands to halfback worked fine. Cripps, again, was fine. Chera was really good in the first half. Went missing as the game went on, because that's kind of been the story of who he is when he's fit. But I thought Ollie was really good. Blake Acres had some nice moments, but again, went missing a little bit too much. It was interesting to see who wanted to pick up the slack from the Blues when things were not going well, and that list was not long. Poor Jesse Motlop, in a way, just had a night where you felt like he could have kicked 6, and he didn't kick 1. And that's just the difference. Like, we are 3 to 4 years in at this point. Like, we need the results on the board. You have to know it's one game. Yeah, well, this shit needs to be talked about. So we're talking about it. We're reacting to it. Welcome to the world of content creation. Wiedering, the way that Lynch was able to negate him was fantastic, but he did a lot more right than wrong, did Wieders, give him credit for that. I don't want to point out one piece of play, because it's not one thing that lost Carlton this game. They were a shell, just one of the most mentally weak performances we've seen in a very long time in AFL football, and that is taking nothing away from the Tigers in the slightest. But if there's one little bit that encapsulated everything that went wrong with the hesitation, the ball movement, the transition from the Blues, was with about 2.5 minutes to go, Adam Sard had a teammate. It may have been Lucas Camporeale. I might be wrong. Who, by the way, Lucas himself was very good. So credit to him. The thing is that if that target gets hit, and again, I believe, I haven't gone back to watch it because I want to get the review out as quickly as possible, but I think over the top was either Jack Silvani or Brody Kemp, or Lockie Cowan. It was kind of, they all got the same build there. Was free and open. The kick went over the Carlton player's head. Richmond rebounded. Again, is one scenario or one situation the reason they lost? No. But the shakiness of the ball movement, we didn't have Curnow. I don't give a shit. Richmond have got more under 21s than a St Kilda fucking nightclub at the moment. I don't give a damn that Charlie wasn't there, and I don't think most Carlton fans do either, by the way. What I do hope coming from this, and look, if they won't, I will, and if you guys want to watch me, I'd appreciate that. The mainstream media still need to give Richmond the credit. This can't be a 50-50 or 70-30 Carlton v Richmond conversation. It just can't. But this was disgusting. And Michael Voss over the next month now is going to be tested on what he's going to be like as a coach. Because Brisbane weren't exactly a mentally strong team under his reign. Doesn't look like Carlton are, even if they've had bigger successes than this. And whilst Richmond did win the flag in 20, we are now 4.5 years later. That's the best win they've had in a while. They should enjoy it. Get back to your arrogant best, Richmond fans, because you bloody deserve this. You were 49.5 point underdogs, and you got up. Footy is back. Yes, fantastic. We love it in a massive way. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to join the Daz Talks Footy family and getting around the Tigers rebuilding side. And if you think it's fun to watch Carlton lose, I'm sure you enjoyed this result as well. More game reviews are coming. Hawthorn play Essendon, which I'm really excited for, and that review is going to get out really quickly as well, because who the fuck needs sleep, pretty much. So I hope you've had a fantastic day. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I am pumped for a full slate of games. I hope you are as well. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.